February is Black History Month. We want to take the time to recognize the people who have made significant contributions locally. And that includes a man named Norm Rice, the 49th mayor of Seattle.
Rice served 2 terms from 1990 to 1997. He was Seattle's first African-American mayor, and we recently sat down one-on-one for an interview as he reflected on his time in office. And many people will remember he oversaw the revitalization of the downtown core back in the 90s. And now we're talking about the current state of downtown as it stands today.
Downtown was on its not last legs, but it was not looking good. And everybody could say it's downtown. I live over in Mount Baker. So no, it's our downtown. And then I'm kind of a fiscal person. How do I get the money to pay for all those things these people want? Sales tax, business and occupation tax. So if downtown isn't vibrant, if it isn't attracting and bringing people in, you aren't going to get any money. So it didn't take a rocket scientist to say, let's see that. Some people used to say, well, Norman's a downtown guy. No, the places we have to get the dollars are those places.
Because it is all connected, right?
Exactly.
And it's not even just within the neighborhoods of Seattle. What happens in Seattle has a ripple effect, right?
You're right. I really believe, although I don't know if my mayor colleagues or others would believe it in suburban areas, but a healthy downtown Seattle is good for the region. It is not a part.
How do you feel about the state of downtown now?
We've got a lot of work to do. We have to rethink a lot of our things that we're doing. But you know, and what we did 20 years ago may not be just going back and building up what we had to, but how do we reach out and get people in the same way? You know, shopping, places to go have changed a little bit. What is it, PCC opened up downtown? You know, how do you bring people in? You know, and how do you make sure that they walk our streets, are in the places they need? Those are ongoing things, and you need to make sure, you know, once you build those things, you get more people coming in, and then the transportation systems and other thing else. But this pandemic and what's occurred and what's happened with downtown is making us all rethink what is today versus what was yesterday.
So obviously back in the 90s, he had a huge impact on businesses, right? And businesses downtown. He also reflected on education. He had a big job of trying to unite the city over the issue of busing to integrate schools. And he also spearheaded a citywide education summit, which focused on making sure that kids were safe and healthy and ready to learn.
Wasn't a big part of his legacy his ability to communicate with people during very difficult times?
Yes, it's a gift, really, I think. And he actually published a book on the subject, ironically, in 2020. Called Gaining Public Trust, a profile of civic engagement. And we talked about his tips for better communication. And he says it really comes down to making people feel heard and then coming back and asking, did I get it right? So we've got part 2 and part 3 of his interview. We're going to have that for you tomorrow right here on Fox 13
Great
News.
advice when we're all talking at each other a lot of
Yes.
times instead of listening to each
So
other.
true.
So, all right, I look forward to
Yeah.
that, Jamie. Thank you.